What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of Stability WOD. Sorry for last week, we got snowed out, so we didn't get a chance to get a third video up there sooner. But for those of us who kicked off the Whole Life Challenge this morning, everybody obviously did a workout involving some running. A lot of people expressed some concern about the speed of their running, whether they would necessarily be able to improve that running tremendously over the next 8 weeks. So it kind of popped into my head that maybe we should start working on some of those mechanics as it pertains to some of the stability involved. Hopefully, many of us know that running is a predominantly posterior chain exercise. A lot of the backside of the body, whether it's posture of the midline, or in this case what we're going to focus on is all those leg muscles from the hips right down and through the calves. About 12 years ago, I had the privilege of studying under Juan Carlos Santana down in Florida, probably one of the smartest athletic trainers I've ever studied under. And he gave me this simple little hamstring circuit with a stability ball that I personally have gotten away from, but I'm going to start getting back into, and hopefully you guys will too. It's a phenomenal way to condition the hamstrings, avoid any injuries, strengthen the hamstrings a little bit, make our running a little bit faster and more powerful, while also more efficient. It's going to take the gait of our run, so it's going to take everything from that foot strike through the pull into that next foot strike and break it down using the actual stability ball itself. So all you need for this one is quite simply a stability ball. It can be a 55 centimeter, 65 centimeter, totally up to you, whichever is available. Make sure it is fairly well inflated though, you don't want one that is too soft. We're gonna go ahead and lay ourselves back with our heels only up on the ball and get our knees slightly bent, right? So we would never be hyperextended in the knee. We want to have a slight bend, and all we're going to start with is a simple bridge. So we want to drive the hips up and through, get a good squeeze, try to make sure we've gotten as high as we can possibly extend our hips without arching or straining our lower back, and come on back down. We're going to start with 15 of those. At the conclusion or the completion of the 15th repetition, we're going to hold, and now we're going to draw the ball back and forth. So we're going to pull it in and let it back out. We're going to keep our hips up in the air and repeat. As the ball gets closer, we get more hip extension. As the ball comes out, we let our hips come back down to that starting position. Again, we're looking for 15 repetitions. Upon completion of that phase, we're going to bring the ball in towards us, kind of grab it with the bottom of our feet, and we want to kind of grab it with that mid-third of our foot, right? So from somewhere slightly behind the ball of our foot to right in front of the heel of our foot. And now we want to get yet another version of hip extension. Again, drive all the way through, try to get a nice straight line, so I should be in as straight a line as possible from my knee down through my shoulder and back down. Again, 15 repetitions. Ideally, we're going to go from 15 to 15 to 15. However, that might not be so feasible right off the bat, so you might need to do 15 of the hip bridge, rest, 15 of drawing the ball back and forth, rest, and then 15 of that second hip extension, and then rest. Ultimately, we want to build that up into 15 of each consecutively done. From there, we then want to start to go through this multiple repetitions. We want to go through one cycle of all 3, a second cycle of all 3, and finally a third cycle of all 3. When you can do 3 revolutions of that entire circuit without ever having to rest, you will definitely have fortified your hamstrings, your hips, and your calves for all that extra running we're going to be doing, and you'll definitely see an improvement in your performance. That's this week's homework. Get after it.